What's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to talk about why I believe that steroids should be legal, anabolic steroids, and potentially why SARMs should not be legal. All right, so, I have experimented with anabolic steroids. I'm currently on testosterone. I've taken Anavar, I've taken Deca, I've taken Winstrol, I've taken D-Ball. I have some trend coming. And I will probably try some others before, I give this stuff up for good. I'll probably stay on TRT for life. But I think that there are some, I don't want to say safe ones out there, but I think that the risks are completely overblown. And I think that they should be legal. Partially because the risks are overblown and partially because they are very effective for making your fucking life better, straight up. Like, it just makes everything better, right? Now, am I saying all of them should be legal? Not necessarily, but I am saying that, yeah, actually, you know what? I think they all should be legal. I think there's enough barriers to entry for steroids that I think it is okay to make them legal. They're legal in many other countries. They're legal in Thailand, for example. They're legal in the UK. Eastern Europe, they're legal. Not that that's like the safest place in the world, but you can buy them in many countries over there and people don't bat an eye. So I think the issue with steroids, like why are they illegal in the first place, right? It's funny to me how testosterone is illegal, right? But as a man, you have fucking testosterone in your body. So it's this whole joke about like, it's illegal to be a man, it's just kind of funny, don't you think? Like, it's illegal for you to possess a bottle of something that you already have in your body naturally, which is kind of ridiculous, you know what I mean? And I think it's an oversight by the medical community, and I think it is completely ridiculous. And it's just another example to me of how you should view the medical community suspiciously unless they are a specialist in a certain area and they have a lot of experience, like hands-on experience with that, right? Just because somebody's a doctor doesn't mean they know shit about hormones, doesn't know shit about endocrinology or endocrinology, I guess is how you say it. And I think it all should kind of be viewed with suspicion when you're talking about illicit substances or gray market drugs or peptides or things that are new that don't really fall under a doctor's area of expertise, especially if they don't have an actual interest in it. They're just not interested, right? I know a lot of hobbyists online who don't have anything to do with the medical field who are fucking way more knowledgeable than most doctors. Now, am I saying doctors are bad? You should never trust doctors? No. I think if you break your arm, I think it's probably a pretty good idea to go to a doctor. I think if your fucking appendix bursts, probably a pretty good idea to go to the doctor. If you want to improve your life by increasing your testosterone, yeah, you should go to a doctor, right? I'm not saying break the law or buy any illegal substances, but you're kind of shit out of luck if you're hoping to find a really good one on the first try and you don't know too much about this. You don't know what to look for. So, I don't know. Is it really safe to say that steroids should be legal? Because like some of them have some pretty nasty side effects, like Trenbolone, for example. I still haven't taken Tren. I've just like been talking about it a lot lately and researching it a lot. And it can make you get really bad sleep. It can make you very aggressive. It can make you very paranoid. And on top of that, it makes you freakishly strong and build a lot of muscle. So I'm assuming, like, it seems plausible that they would be illegal, right? Because you don't want a bunch of like paranoid, super aggressive people who are fucking jacked walking around. You don't want anybody to be able to turn into something like that, right? That's like the plausible reason. But I think the real reason that they're illegal is because of sports, right? If they were legal, the idea is that athletes would take them and they would have an unfair advantage, really. But like we all know that, or maybe you don't know, but it seems pretty clear that most athletes do take something that they shouldn't be taking, the naughty sauce, as it were, and they're just able to skirt the tests, right? because the way they test for it is not always like, they don't use like the best tests possible, even though it's a blood test. And it's not really, as far as I know, you can't really test for example, taking testosterone. You can take a certain amount of testosterone, and as long as you have a ratio of, I forget what it is, it's, a certain ratio of like a metabolite to testosterone or something, you're technically like allowed to be within that range. And the range is set way too high, so that it's kind of this, it's like jury duty. It's like the only people who go to jury duty are the people who are too stupid to get out of jury duty. So the only people who get caught with, doing PEDs in sports are the ones who are too stupid to not get caught, right? They're not going to take, you take Winstrol, you take like a designer anabolic steroid that, they have a specific test for, you might get caught. But if you take bioidentical testosterone, it's testosterone. Like, what are they going to do? You have fucking testosterone in your body. Like, that's just how it is. So I think the real reason is for cheating in sports, and that's kind of irrelevant now because we have third-party organizations that test these leagues, test them for PEDs. So why can't your average guy go to the store and get some testosterone? I guess you could say like it's like medical marijuana, right? Like the way that weed used to be. Now it's legal in a lot of states, but the way that it used to be is you get your little fucking prescription card, and then you can go to a dispensary, right? Now it's just straight up legal in a bunch of places. You just fucking walk in, show your ID, and buy whatever you want. Back in the day, before there were dispensaries, you couldn't do that. You had to buy it from your fucking drug dealer. And there was a risk with that. You're doing something illegal, you're in possession of some sort of illegal substance. And it had this stigma attached to it where weed is bad and like you shouldn't smoke weed. Well, I still believe that weed is bad and you shouldn't smoke weed, but I think it's a lot more benign from a health standpoint than a lot of the other stuff that you can buy legally. Cigarettes, for example, I think are terrible. Alcohol is fun to drink, sure, but it's not like you shouldn't drink it. It's not good for you by any stretch of the imagination. And furthermore, you can easily abuse alcohol. I can go right now, I can go buy a fucking bottle of whiskey and I can drink it every single day for the rest of my life if I want to. And it's gonna totally fuck up my life, way more than injecting testosterone would, for example. So, and there's, I think there's a lot of things like that. And another thing, another reason I think they should be illegal is that a lot of them are very well studied, right? A lot of anabolic steroids have been around for, since the 60s. D-ball's been around since the 60s. I don't know the exact date that like all these other ones came out, but like there are a lot of, I don't know, I should probably look that up actually, but they've been around for a long time. Arnold and all them, they did D-ball, they did DECA, right? They did all of the like the main ones, I guess, that most people run. And there's a lot of like collective experience of what happened with them, how to manage the side effects, which is where a lot of the knowledge from the bro science world comes from, which is the like collective experience of all of these bodybuilders from back in the day. All the knowledge grew, and now you have places like YouTube where you can go and you can type in fucking, how to manage side effects on TRT or how to run a steroid cycle or stuff like that, and the information is all there. So I think with the like how things are shifting now, how there's a lot more like good knowledge available and people can actually do things properly, I don't see why it's a bad idea to allow people who are interested in it and who want to actually do it to go and do it. You're not going to get this whole idea about like roid rage. Like, okay, fine, maybe with there are some compounds that will increase your like aggression, like ment, I think, is one of them, methyl testosterone, and trenbolone is another one. And I want to say maybe T-ball, Turinabol. I'm not sure about that. Don't quote me on that. But I know ment does, and trenbolone does. So like you could make the argument for those ones not being legal, but the rest of them, like go take D-ball and tell me you want to fucking smash somebody's face in. You feel like the happiest person in the world, right? Chronic usage of TRT at a low dose is just going to make you happier and more confident. It's not going to make you like turn you into this like raging asshole who fucking punches holes in walls and stuff like that. Okay, so that's why I think steroids should be legal. Overall, it's a net gain, and I think it's one of these things where if you want to if people want to do it, it's a fucking free country, let them do it. There's no reason for them not to be able to do it other than the sports argument, which is irrelevant because of the third-party testing systems that we like have in place, even though they're not perfect. Now about SARMs and other, not for human consumption gray market drugs, I think you could make the case for those not being legal. Because number one, they haven't been studied for that long. There's not a lot of scientific evidence on them compared to anabolic steroids. So we don't know the long-term effects. Whereas with anabolic steroids, they've all pretty much been around for a long time. We know what they all do. But with SARMs, we don't necessarily know that. And SARMs have a lot more side effects. Maybe not a lot more side effects, but the problem with SARMs is that they'll crash your natural testosterone production. And, you know, just for what? To like help you build a little bit of muscle? Like your testosterone is still fucked. So at that point, you might as well just do the steroids, right? Because you're like, what's the problem with doing steroids is that your natural testosterone production is going to crash. So eventually when you stop the cycle, you're going to have to, you know, do a PCT, post-cycle therapy, and build yourself back up. Unless you're on TRT, in which case you're just going to run the testosterone, you know, indefinitely. And the thing with SARMs is that like they don't even do like all of the stuff that steroids do, but they don't, like, they crash your natural testosterone. As I was saying that, I was thinking to myself, I was like, do they fuck up your lipid profile also and increase your blood pressure? Which are two issues for, you know, anabolic steroids. I'm not sure about that, but I wouldn't be surprised. But I don't know for sure. So that's something that, you know, I can't give a definitive answer on. Anyway, great video. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but what do you think about that? Do you think steroids should be legal? Do you think SARMs should be legal? What's your opinion on steroids versus SARMs? Let me know, leave me a comment. Peace.